Hey everyone and welcome, I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx, and this is your home for rational, reasonable, real gamers.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad.
By now you may have heard about all the controversy surrounding Ubisoft's up-and-coming, fell short of sales expectations title, Assassin's Creed Shadows, or as I like to call it, Diversity's Creed Shit Show. Not only was the game originally touted as historically accurate despite its prominent protagonist based on mostly fiction, but the game has suffered a number of other complaints. Chinese architecture instead of Japanese, a mismatch of seasons and produce, watermelons in an era before they were introduced to Japan, the theft of imagery from a Japanese reenactment group, and the in-game destruction of a prized Shinto shrine, just to mention a few. And who can forget the game's reliance on Thomas Lockley's book about Yasuke, a mostly fictitious and fabricated account that was passed off as historical fact for years until exposed by the very backlash this game engendered. Lockley basically went into hiding and had his Japanese university credentials stripped away in the aftermath of his exposure as a liar and a fraud. Ubisoft reveals a strikingly tone-deaf approach by basing one of the two protagonists of the game not on any Japanese person, but on the myth of an African samurai. Not only that, but they even modeled the character after George Floyd, a violent convicted felon and drug addict who died of a fentanyl overdose that was later blamed on a police officer due to the anti-white and anti-police sentiment stirred up by hate-filled media and activists. But I live in a nation where monuments are erected to drug-addicted felons, including this one, who actually held a gun to a pregnant woman's belly and threatened to murder her and her unborn child. It's how the powers that be throw it in your face. You will worship the lowlife thugs, and you will like it. Well, I won't, and neither does this upcoming game, Yasuke Simulator, releasing March 20th, 2025 on Steam. And boy, is this thing hilarious to see. The trailer is an obvious tongue-in-cheek mockery of Ubisoft's grossly disrespectful woke title, a title they've delayed twice already. Yasuke Simulator's trailer begins with an English voiceover of Oda Nobunaga, arguably the most famous of Japanese warlords, bestowing the title of samurai on Yasuke and instructing him to help him unify Japan by defeating the Takeda clan. Yasuke slices up, guns down, and even runs over Japanese people in a car. Yeah, I'm not kidding, you heard that right. You utilize an automatic rifle and even a car to wreak havoc on Japan and its people. And why not mock Ubisoft's new and upcoming disgusting title? Obviously, this game looks like it's going to be a pretty low-effort title featuring basic visuals and janky movement, but what would you expect? A AAA production? We leave those high-quality AAA productions to the experts. Experts like Ubisoft, whose expertise in AAA has done nothing but lead them with lower and lower stock values, eventually considering the possibility of privatizing and selling the company off. That or go bankrupt. If that's not an indication of expertise, what is? Unfortunately, Yasuke looks like a pretty generic black male. This would be a perfect opportunity to model him after George Floyd, would it not? The trailer has amateur indie GTA vibes to it as well, although I doubt it'll have nearly that much interactivity. Expect something very basic and simple, the way any good mockery should be. I even hope it has an awesome rap soundtrack to slaughter digital representations of Japanese citizens to, and of course by that I'm being facetious and making fun of the fact that in Ubisoft's title you can do just that. The developer is listed as history-accurate developers, which is hilarious considering the debacle with Ubisoft pretending their game was historically accurate, further emphasizing the devs' intent to mock Ubisoft in their upcoming lower-than-expected sales game. The description even says it has historically accuracy. Yes, historically accuracy. I prefer all my games to have historically accuracy, don't you? The Yasuke Simulator team has done its research and went above and beyond to provide a totally historically accurate depiction of feudal Japan with Yasuke the samurai. Gosh, that's beautiful. I love that level of sarcasm. I love good sarcasm, and this is it. This is the only game listed for the devs, so I imagine it's either their first foray into games or they've chosen to release this game under a different name to avoid backlash from the radical lunatic left wing, whom we all know are prone to acts of canceling, doxing, and violence. No price is listed as of yet, but with any luck it'll be pretty darn cheap. I imagine you might have more fun with this fictitious version of Yasuke than Ubisoft's equally fictitious fabrication. Do you plan on picking up Yasuke Simulator on March 20th, 2025? If so, let me know in the comment section below, and if you have anything else to say, please leave it down there in the comments, because it does a lot to help out my videos in my channel. Like the video, subscribe, and consider joining the channel. It's as cheap as $1.99. And as always, my friends, stay real, keep playing, and never forget, yesterday's tomorrow is today's today.